Okay. Happy Tuesday once again mga kaibigan. Welcome mo sa ating program. It's another, brand new week. Nagsimula ako kahapon syempre Monday. Pero brand new week ho ngayon to, no? Dahil wala pa ho tayo sa kalagitnaan. Happy Tuesday. Welcome ho sa Legal Advice Corner with yours truly, Sonny LARAGAN. At syempre, hindi ho ako ang talagang star of the show dahil wala naman ho akong masyadong kaalaman dito sa batas, no? Ito ho yung ating star of the show na for the past almost, was it 2 months ba o 1 month, no? And na-miss natin ng doon sa ating regular time, no? Na dahil nga sa Ramadan, kailangan medyo malate siya dahil alam niyo na, no? Ang kanilang fasting ay nag-end ng bandang mga before yung ating show, no? Siyempre kailangan mag-prepare pa to para kumain. But anyway, kumustahin natin? It's been a long while din. Pagka 1 week, long while din ho yan pagka hindi natin namimit to. Mga kaibigan, let's say hello to our Happy Tuesday, abogada, mahal ho nating lahat. Walang iba kundi ang managing partner ho ngayon, no, ng Deo Valente Solicitors. Walang iba kundi si Attorney DANNA Quinto. Attorney, magandang gabi sa iyo.
Magandang gabi, Mr. LARAGAN. Good evening. It is 8 o'clock. I came in quite prompt today. As I've said, back to normal programming tayo. And thank you so much for bearing with me for the last 4 weeks nung nakisalo ko sa mga colleagues ko to celebrate and to observe Ramadan. So that's the reason why we were late for the last 4 weeks and starting the Tuesday. Pero ngayon po, balik na po tayo. 8 o'clock in punto, nag-uumpisa tayo so we can have a bit more time talking, discussing kahit anong. Usually, we'll have our roll call, Mr. LARAGAN, attendance, checking of attendance, and then and then we'll have a short topic, and then we take questions or magpo-post yung mga kababayan natin ng mga tanong. So here we are, right smack in the middle of, what do we say, spring, summerish? Kasi meron pa, it's still daylight outside. Ewan ko sa inyo, but we're still having a bit of daylight. So the weather's getting better. Everything's getting better. Nagbukas ang indoor dining. And we can hug again. So it's definitely a happy Tuesday dahil papunta na tayo doon. Although obviously, sabi nila, we should take still a bit of caution dahil sa Indian variant and all this
So
things happening. But it's so good. I'm very excited na babalik ulit sa normal programming. How are you, Mr. LARAGAN?
Okay
Talking
naman.
about COVID and second dose, kamusta?
Okay naman. Second dose ko, okay. It went a lot better than the first one. Mahusay yung I didn't feel anything. Normally, nung first time ko, wala akong side effects except yung soreness doon ko saan naturukan.
That's right.
Siguro mga 1 or 2 days siguro yun, 2-3 days yung before. But with this new one, with the latest one, halos walang soreness yung aking yung aking left ano ba tawag dito? Left
arm,
para shoulder
triceps,
apart, no?
biceps.
Parang
one
ganun.
steps.
I was really,
One step.
Oo nga. Ano ba yan? Hindi ko alam kung ano yan eh.
Joke lang. Baka bigla mo ako.
One step, may triceps. Hindi, triceps kasi sa back. Tapos biceps sa harapan. Ano kaya dito? Alam ko na, attorney. Nakalimutan ko na.
Ano ba?
May tawag dyan eh. Anyway, later on, babalik sa akin.
Forearm,
So yun lang.
diba?
They
Exactly.
call it the nakalimutan ko na. I used to know this part yung lumalaking dito. Yung
Ay,
triceps.
malaki dito. Yeah.
Dito. But usually dito ka nagsimula sa likod eh. And the name
Sa
of the
likod dito.
hindi ko alam kung nurse yun, no? Pa Helen ang pangalan niya. And I complimented her. Sabi ko,
Pilipino po.
hindi. Helen, puti siya ngayon. Yung dating una puti rin. Pero the guy on the side, I don't know kung paano set up sa inyo sa Bedfordshire. meron bang isang tao sa computer tapos merong isang
Oh,
nurse, ganun ba ang
dalawa
style?
talaga sila. Oh, dalawa nga po. Eh. Akala ko may
Dalawa.
isang.
Ganun. Oh,
Akala
okay,
ko yung
okay.
isa, taga moral support. Akala ko, bakit dalawa sila?
Ay, hindi, taga ano
Kasi
yan, sa
walang
computer
video.
yata. Sa computer. Sa
Dalawa sila,
computer.
dalawa sila yung kumausap sa akin. Sabi ko, wow,
Oh,
grabe
wow.
naman moral support to. Galing bait.
baka kala nila tatakbo ka, attorney, kaya siguro dalawa, haranga ka na kagad. Sabi gano'n, di ba?
Dalawa makakapag.
Oh, hindi ka pwedeng tumakbo, hindi ka pwedeng tumakbo. Oy, teka muna, balik muna tayo sa iyo. Ikaw,
Sige.
how was it? Yung sa akin, saglit lang yan eh. Okay? Ikaw,
Yes.
you had to, not, we don't want to use the word endure, but you were able to hurdle a whole month of not drinking for the whole day, not eating for
Correct.
the whole day, except early
Yeah.
morning at saka sa evening.
That's right. Yeah.
Kumusta? How is it? Ngayon, parang, when did it finish? Wednesday ba? Wednesday? Kailan mo
It was
natapos?
Wednesday, kailan ba yung Eid? Wednesday yung last day of fasting. And then Eid nung Thursday. So we celebrated sa office. May food. And everyone was in a good spirits kasi, you know, it's something to celebrate, of. So it was very unusual the first day that I woke up. Talagang may hesitation. Sabi ko, pwede na ba talaga ako uminom ng tubig?
Oh, di ba?
Talaga yung
Parang,
dalawang isip ako.
oh.
Parang, gano'n. Pero wala akong gana for a few days. Hindi ako nag-breakfast pa rin for a few days. So, the body was readjusting to eating. I had, balik kape na po ako.
Okay. Na-miss mo.
Akala
Na-miss
ko
mo yung coffee.
mag-one cup of coffee ako. That lasted for 1 hour. So,
Ilan ba ang cups of coffee ikaw, attorney? Mga 3 per
at
day?
least 3. At
Ah,
least
okay,
3 a
okay,
day,
okay.
maybe 4. If it's really a hard day, maybe 5. So I was
Okay. It
I
perks you up
started
kasi,
the
di
day.
ba? Parang,
Really?
parang gana, ano, when you're about to do something, parang you want to concentrate on something, nagtitimpla ka muna ng coffee, ganun ba?
Definitely, yun yung
Ah.
So I would have my first cup of coffee before I go to work, which is it's a very short walk away. So I'll have my second cup of coffee after 10 minutes. Then I'll have my third cup of coffee after 45 minutes. So by the
Wow.
time na nag-umpisa ako, I probably had by 9:30 I probably am on my third cup of coffee. So
Okay. Most of this in the morning, attorney, most of
most in the morning.
tapos
Most
sa
in
hapon
the
wala
morning.
na. Sa hapon wala na.
I would have one maybe. I would
One
have
maybe. Okay. All right.
3 or 4. So yun po yung kwento. So it was very good. I was very touched by a lot of my colleagues na nagbigay ng suporta, na-touch din. We went to a colleague's house kasama ng pamilya niya kasi, you know, they're wanting to celebrate it. And it was very touching. It was very touching. I did feel parang kasama din ako dun sa pinagdaanan nila. And I felt more, I would say, aware sa kung ano man yung nararamdaman siguro during that time. And all in all, I'm very glad I did it. And they are true. After a few days, hindi mo talaga yung biglang kakain ka agad. So the body's still adjusting. Nagsa-snacks na uli ako. I'm slowly getting back to my usual. Every hour na nagbi-biscuit, cookie. But yung appetite mo, I found it quite interesting na hindi siya yung parang bumalik yung full on. Talagang dahan-dahan na bumabalik. Pero yung tubig, mas na-appreciate ko. I drink more water. If there's something that's very good about it, is I drink more water these days. Kasi mas na-appreciate ko. Parang ako, do you know what? I had 1 month na bawal ako uminom ng tubig. At the first day, talagang unang ginawa ko is inom ng tubig, and I keep doing that. So, sabi nila, if you had that scarcity, talagang mas ma-appreciate mo yung mga bagay. So, I'm very happy and I'm very, very thankful sa lahat ng, for bearing with us, for allowing me to be a bit late for the long.
Oo. Pero okay, we do understand that, no? We do really understand. Siyempre, ikaw naman inaabangan dito, attorney. Ikaw naman, this is the reason why they are actually watching this show. This is the reason why the existence is because of you, no? Yung legal advice mo. Yeah, in fact, may tumawag nga sa akin kaso kanina no. I'll send you something although it's a bit of a work problem yata, attorney.
It's okay. It's okay.
Oo,
It's no problem.
i-forward ko sa'yo. Tumawag ako, nagulat ako dahil
Yeah.
mga nanonood sa atin. Imagine mo, ano yan ha, they would sometimes, there was one lady who rang me on a Sunday, tapos this person rang me this morning yata, oo. Hindi ko na i-forward sa yung email eh. Ay, yung kanyang parang case niya para makita mo lang. At least maituro lang natin kung anong dapat gawin, no?
Naman, yeah,
Sa kanya, oo.
exactly.
Oo.
Exactly. We're happy to do
Ah,
that.
pag ano siguro, kwento ko sa'yo by tomorrow.
Yeah.
Sayang, hindi pa natin napag-usapan pala kanina because we were,
Oh,
oo, sinisave natin yung kwentuhan natin. Okay, teka muna. Were you, parang natapos yung Wednesday, the Thursday, parang ano ba, yung celebration ng konti, yung parang kainan ba?
Apo, yeah,
Oh,
we
so
were eating.
were they applauding you? Parang ladies and gentlemen,
Well,
folks, Danna's done it. Well done, parang ganyan. Ikaw ba
they're
yung
very,
parang,
very appreciative.
did, did,
Yeah,
did,
they're very appreciative. They're very appreciative. They're very touched. Talagang hindi sila makapaniwala na
oo nga.
ginawa ko all that actually. I think it's not that, kasi sabi ng mga colleagues ko, you look, we have to do it kasi sa namin, sa religion. So, alam mo
Mm,
naman, kahit din sa atin, di
yeah.
ba, if we're
Oo.
expected sa kultura natin, and to not have those pressure but still take part in something just because you
Mm,
wanna be in solidarity sa mga kasama mo. I think they're very very appreciative. Naramdaman
appreciative.
ko naman
Oo. Oh,
appreciation nila. So that was very good. And para naman sa akin, parang ay nakatulong talaga. I mean, without those encouraging comments, encouraging kind words, talagang parang minsan talaga mahirap. And the fact na may kasama ka gawin, ang malaking factor. Kasi you get to commiserate, you get to check, oh, okay ka lang,
mm,
okay ka yan. So it
mm,
was a very interesting experience. May mga nagtatanong,
mm,
convert ko. Sabi ko, I'm still a Christian. There's nothing wrong with,
mm.
having, my own religion and understanding another person's religion and respectfully taking part in someone else's religion. So, it's, there's absolutely, wala naman sigurong ikakasama yun. It's been
Yung ba,
interesting.
yung bang age yan, attorney? Would you know, when do they start having this, yung mga Muslims, is there an age that they start? Do they start when young, teenager? Anong age nag-i-start ng ganyan? Yung
I
mga
think
fasting na yan?
adolescent po ata.
Adolescent.
Narinig ko lang, adolescent po ata. Adolescent, not too young na bata pa sila. I think adolescent po ata. I can't remember kung may exact age, pero I
Okay,
think
okay. So
like
adolescent.
adolescent.
Okay, so
Yeah,
ikaw,
I
for
think so.
example, are you proving, parang na-prove mo, you as a Pinoy, tapos sa bagay may mga Muslims na Pinoy, pero you as a Pinoy, at your age, for example, can you say na doable ba yan? Is it, it would be easy because family tradition, for example, if you were born a Muslim, for
Correct, yeah.
example, and you were an adolescent,
Exactly.
adolescent yun, tas ginawa mo, may practice ka eh. Pero ikaw,
May
you
practice.
haven't done this all your life except a short
Yeah,
while last year and then now the
correct.
full, the full length
Yeah.
of it, no, so to speak.
Yes, that's right.
Doable ba? By doing that, have you proven, attorney, na kaya nila Edgar Duway, kaya ng kahit sino Pinoy? Or was it because ikaw ay mas physically healthy ka because you run, you hike, you climb?
No. I genuinely don't think I genuinely don't think there's anything special about my endurance. Wala talaga. I think anything is doable. I think with the right motivation, with the
Mhm.
right willpower, I think kahit sinong tao, kung gugustuhin mo yung isang bagay, kung talagang gusto mong ma, ma, marating, if you want to achieve something, I genuinely believe anything is doable. Time and time again with endurance, you
Oo.
running,
Mhm.
this one. I think for me, siguro sa sarili ko, I'm not trying to prove anything with anyone. I think it's more of a little reminder, lalo na pandemic, lalo na,
Mhm.
life is a bit different and a bit tough. What you wanna think of is, you know what? kaya pa rin marating kung ano yung gusto mong marating. I think there's little reminders, and it's very personal ha. Sabi nga nila sa mountains, yung summit mo personal yan. Ano ba yung gusto mong marating personally? And is it important for you? How important is it for you? If it's something that's very, very important for you, if it's something that you truly believe in, that you want to give everything to you. And if we want to look back sa buhay natin, Mr. Laragan, we want to look back sa buhay natin, there were things we really wanted. And when we wanted it most, talagang walang walang obstacle. Wala talaga. And a lot of people maraming Pilipino nakagawa niyan. Maraming Pilipino na andito sa UK against all odds. Marami tayong mga kababayan na who made it here even though hindi ganun kadali dito. And it's because of one thing alone. Dahil gusto natin, ginusto talaga natin. And sometimes, yun na, it's nothing to prove with that. It's just probably an internal thing na it's nice to prove na kahit sobrang hirap ng mundo ngayon, na kung may gugustuhin talaga tayo, it's doable. It's possible.
Ayan, okay. Pagka talagang you set your mind to achieve it, no? And don't give up sa initial struggles. Siyempre, pagkasimula, laging di ba? Parang, ikaw, did you give up? Were you thinking of, parang, napasubo yata ako dito, parang hindi ko kakayanin, no? A second night, third night?
There were no, first day pala. I think first day talaga, I was physically very unwell. I think I was kahit kumain
wala ka
po
ininom,
ako,
kunain.
wala, kahit nung kumain po ako when I broke the fast, I wasn't feeling very comfortable at all. Masakit yung ulo ko. I was almost shivering nung gabi. It wasn't a very pleasant experience. But a lot of things, it passed as well.
Imagine mo, no? More 30 days ba? Ilan yan? 29 days ba, attorney?
30
days, imagine mo yan, no? Saludo kami sa'yo. Wala asa ba yung, dapat ka namin palakpakan ka namin, attorney, di ba?
Madami po tayong kapatid na Muslim brothers and sisters who are doing this year in, year out. And I think respect for them too for being able to do this, and will have to do this for the rest of their years. So saludo din ako sa endurance nila. And sa spirituality, the religious side of it. So respect. And respect sa lahat ng tao na would have to do it, na hindi dahil sa religion, but because of their own circumstances, who can only afford one meal, who has to go through mga obstacles and scarcity sa buhay. So I think hanap lang ng good vibes, hanap tayo ng things to be common with, these things that can keep us linked together. Kahit gaano siguro tayo kaiba't iba, meron pa rin tayong, we will always have a commonality. And that's, I think, lalo na ngayong pandemic year, it's very, very important to just really find those slices of happiness, mga little wins natin.
We also have to find our happiness, create our happiness. And 'di ba sabi nga sino yung ating yung dati mong assistant, sino yung assistant mo na very wise?
Trainee solicitor.
Trainee solicitors. Do whatever you wanna do, parang kasi 'di ba? Dahil iba na yung mental health mo will be affected during this time. So, yun maganda, very positive yung kanyang mga sinasabi last time. Attorney, let's go with some of the pagbati lang. Bati lang natin itong mga initial, no? Ayan, pakibasa, ikaw na magbasa niyan.
Si Marian Galicio Paner. Hello po, Kuya Sonny and Attorney Dana. Sa lahat, happy Tuesday po and stay safe, everyone. God bless. God bless, Marian.
God bless, Marian.
God bless, yes.
Paner, yan. Gusto ko yung surname niya, Paner. Ayan.
Paner.
Have you heard of si Tina Paner noong araw?
Opo, yes.
Ano sikat siya? You were so young. Kasikatan niya, you were very young.
Pero kilala pa rin siya. 90s, kilala pa rin si Tina Paner.
90s ba yun? 90s ba yun si Tina Paner? Mga ano yan mga young stars noong araw? Okay, okay, si Tina Panero. O yan, si May, attorney. Ito yung mga
May
regulars natin.
Tigao Vargas. Good evening, Sir Sonny, Attorney Donna, and to everyone watching the show, watching from Exeter, Devon. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday,
Happy
May.
Tuesday,
Happy
May.
Happy
Oo.
Tuesday.
So, May, si Marian, si May, okay. Si Rudy.
Rudy Lebro. Magandang gabi po ng masayang Tuesday. Magandang Attorney Dana at gwapong Sir Sonny and all kababayan. From Belfast, Rudy Lebroho.
Mabuhay, Rudy, ha? Mabuhay kayo mga taga, no? Oo nga. Thank you, Rudy, ha? Kailangan mo Specsavers. Okay, si Ma'am Cora, umabate. Kaya lang, parang kala ko Pasko, no?
Hello, Sir Sonny, Attorney Dana, and all. Maligayang gabi.
Maligayang gabi, no? Parang maligayang Pasko. Oo, maligayang gabi.
Maligayang Pasko. Ano na ba ngayon? Mayo
pa lang, Ma'am Cora. Pero maligayang gabi rin siya. Happy Tuesday.
Maligayang gabi.
Inaano lang niya, tina-translate lang niya yung Happy Tuesday. Uy, thank you, Ma'am Cora. Mabuhay kayo. Thank you for watching always and being there, being supportive, no? Being a part of our social virtual bubble, no? Ayan, attorney, sino ba susunod natin? Ito. Yan, si Juliet.
Juliet Alviero Marcelino. Good evening, Sonny and Attorney Donna. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Happy Tuesday, Juliet. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday, Juliet.
Oo, nabaunahan, naturukan na rin si Juliet.
Uy, ito.
Si Darmin. Good evening, all.
Taga saan si Darmin? Taga saan si Darmin, attorney?
Belgium si Darmin.
Belgium, oo. We had our, good evening. We had our, ang ganda ng aming ambassador na guest nung Monday kahapon. Si abogado yun. Abogado yung attorney.
Abogado po. Si
Ed De Vega.
Eduardo De Vega.
Hindi, galing siya ng, hindi, yung wife niya, dating Consul General natin. And she was the one who started the program, Embassy Nating Kaibigan Mo, with me. With us.
Wow!
Back in 2010. And then followed by puro Conjen eh. The next Conjen who took her place was Conjen Bernadette Fernandez. I don't know if you met Bernadette Fernandez.
I've heard of her, but I'm not sure.
Siyang sumunod. And then sumunod si Minister Maigla Makahilig. Pero dumating na si Sinen, Sinen Mangalile. So it was Sinen and then we stopped for a while. And now we went back on air, parang TV format na, or itong video format. Ayun. So next week, we're gonna have Denmark. Kasi naalala ko si Darmin, taga Belgium. Next week, Denmark. The following week, Hungary. The following week, hindi ko pa alam, but the following week, it's Germany. So iikot tayo ng buong Europe with all the ambassadors.
Ayan, well done. Very good.
So mabuhay ka, Darmin.
Just a sweet story. Budapest a few years back. So I was gonna run. I did run the Budapest Marathon, but I had a very bad. I had a very. It was a very sunny day, and I dehydrated ako, and I did not finish. But the story was this. Marathon po. Ang dami namin. It was 25. Madami din kaming na parang hinikap na lang kami, Mr. Narag. Hinabol kami nung parang ambulansya. Tapos sinabihan talaga kami, you're looking slow. Time to go. Talaga. But they were sweeping. Talagang, it was a very hot day. And tama naman sila.
Competitive ba yan? Was it a competitive marathon? Or was it a fun run dito? Parang, di ba, may marathon, sumasali marami, di ba? Parang naglalakad pa kami sa...
Parang gano'n, parang gano'n. But they're a bit, ano lang talaga sila, parang, it was unusually very hot day. It was an unusually very hot day. And hindi rin, kasalanan ko din. I didn't train properly for that one. So, nakabook na lahat eh. So,
Hungarian, attorney, Hungarian. So what made you decide to go there? Ano ba, parang may calendar ba that pops up, like for example, because you're into a website or into a group of marathoners or runners, it comes up and, teka muna ito, I'll check out Hungary. So yun, you did it on your own, solo? May kasama
I did it on my own. I went on my own. But ito yung so meron kaming, just a little bit of story. Meron akong maliit na parang tradisyon. I always eat Thai food the night before. Hindi pasta, but Thai food.
Oh, really?
So I always find, kahit saan naman, it's weird. I would eat Thai food the day before. Kasi yun ang pinaka-closest sa Filipino food. Yun ang
Oh.
pinaka-malapit internationally. Kung may Filipino food, I might find. But normally, ang pinaka-malapit is Filipino food. So, the night before the marathon, I went to this little Thai restaurant. And umupo ako, mag-isa lang ako, kain ako.
Mm.
Tingnan ko yung nasa gilid, may nasa gilid na na parang nakalagay na plake. Pagtingin ko sa plake ko, sabi ko, hala, I think it was ambassador, a certain Filipino ambassador or a Filipino president. I think it was a Filipino ambassador sa Filipino ambassador
Ambassador to Hungary?
To Hungary. The food was really good, sabi ng Filipino ambassador. Tawang-tawa,
Wow.
nakakatawa. It was such a serendipitous moment. Kasi,
Teka mo lang. You were in a Thai restaurant?
I was in a Thai restaurant, a small Thai restaurant in Budapest. Nakalagay lang yung parang plaque ng ambassador na parang may note siya doon. Favorite restaurant yata.
Okay. Oh,
And
okay.
then so out of lahat ng restaurant sa Budapest at sa lahat ng table na mauupuan ko, doon talaga ako naupo, doon sa tabi ng plaque ng Pilipino.
Ang plaka naman.
At
Would you-
tuwan-tuwa ako, tuwan-tuwa
Siyempre,
talaga.
di ba? Parang may affinity ka Di ba? May affinity ka doon sa lugar in a way because the ambassador
At tama
has this
yung hinala
plaque, no?
ko na ito yung cuisine na pinakamalapit sa cuisine natin. Sometimes walang
Where did you,
Really nice story.
would you remember the name, attorney, kung ano pangalan ng restaurant na yun, ng Thai restaurant na yun?
I can probably pick it up but pag makikita ko yung name or yung area, I would remember.
Babanggitin ko kasi kay Frank kay Ambassador Frank Simafranca, kay Frank.
Frank.
Babanggitin ko
Sige po.
subukan mo puntahan
sige
yung
po.
Frank, hindi ko alam ko, or siguro tanong natin kung sino yung mga ambassadors previously who went
Exactly.
there, no?
Talagang favorite restaurant niya kasi it was such a personal note dun sa I was really touched kasi
Galing.
wala akong, hindi ko alam na may community sa Budapest. It was just a random trip, a random restaurant, a random table, and I sat next to a reminder from home. And I was very, very happy. And I said, Filipino ko. That was good.
Okay. How many days ka sa Hungary? How many days did you stay there?
About 3 to 4 days then. So I did a bit of sightseeing, a bit of
3 to 4 days then. Okay.
Yeah, 3 to 4 days then. So that was. I might go back. I have an unfinished business. The Budapest Marathon.
Ay, hindi mo natapos kasi. Hindi mo natapos. Ano yun ba yan? Dati ba? Yearly ba yan? Is it done, conducted yearly? Yung
It's a yearly
Budapest?
thing.
Alright. Sige,
It's
babalik.
wait, Mr. Laragan.
Babalik tayo.
Babalik tayo. Babalikan ko yung
I've been there to Budapest. Actually, well, ngayon hindi na siguro. Dati, pagka may British passport ka, you can enter the parang houses of parliament nila. Libre yun. Oo, kung may British citizenship ka, no?
I remember the House of Parliament. I remember kasi when Buda and Pest.
Pest. May bridge lang na nagpapagigit. Siyempre, the river na no?
Yeah.
Maganda ron. Have you tried yung parang yung boat ride na
Yeah, I did.
Di ba? Nadaan sa parliament tapos makikita mo yung sa way taas doon ay parang ayaw ka basta may tinutulog. Oo, may little something. Nice, ha? Oo.
And yung gitna, it's Saint Margaret dapat, but Margot Island. And it's Dominicans. Dominican ka, Mr. Laragan. It's Dominican. Madaming Dominican doon.
Alright. Dominicans, UST kasi Dominican.
Sisters. May mga Dominican priests or Dominican sisters doon sa Saint Margaret Island. So, ang daming reminders of home. It wasn't good na I did not finish, but all in all, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. Out of nowhere sa buong mundo.
I enjoy that. Oo, maganda yan. Ano ba mga pagkain nun? Doon ba ang goulash? Hindi, ano?
But, parang ganun. Tapos, I did try one day. Bumalik ulit ako dun sa Thai restaurant.
So, tayo ulit.
Kanin, tsaka ano.
Yes, of course. It's closest, di ba? But wala ka ba
But
Chinese
yeah, he's an
restaurant doon?
ambassador.
Wala kang Chinese restaurant doon? You mentioned about ambassador. Ano yung kay ambassador? Ano kay ambassador,
Yes,
attorney?
no, I was just gonna say, kung si ambassador niya, they should, the ambassador Simafranca, he should probably try. He should find that note
We'll
from
tell
a
her. We'll
previous
tell her.
ambassador.
Yeah, he's
You
a
should
good friend
find
of
that
ours.
note from a previous
We're gonna ask her
ambassador.
perhaps because at the end of the month, so today, so Monday was 17th was Belgium, and then on the 7th plus 7, 24th would be Denmark. Si
Yes.
Leo Herrera Lim, okay, he used to be the consul general here before Tess Dizon de Vega. Siya ang pinalitan ni
Yes,
Tess
that's
Dizon de Vega. Okay, and then sa end of the month would be si Frank Simafranca na nga, no?
Yeah.
24.
Hanapin ko po yung restaurant.
31.
Hanapin ko po yung restaurant.
Oh, yan,
And
para
I'll
maitanong
send it.
natin.
Hanapin ko yung picture. Naalala ko pinicturean ko yun eh. Hahanapin ko po yung picture nun.
Oh,
Tapos
alam mo, maraming mga kababayan natin maintriga sa iyo ngayon sa pagdating nila ngayon sa Budapest, no? But they pronounce it Budapest, di ba? Pest.
Budapest.
Oh, Budapest,
It's
hindi Budapest,
beautiful.
no? Oh,
It's not too
nice.
expensive. It's beautiful. They call it the Paris of the East. You know, I was young then. I loved to travel, so I was on
Hindi,
the mga travel places na not so expensive.
Hindi kasi parang paper money pera nila, di ba? Kunyari 5,000, kunyari a certain money. Pero ang worth na baka $10, 10 pounds lang o 20 pounds, di ba? 5,000 something, di ba?
Exactly.
Yung ano ba kapangalan? Corinth ba yun? Corinth? Parang Corinto.
Nalala ko, thank you, cousinum. Thank you, cousinum.
Kasanam. Oh, okay.
Cousinum. I think so, cousinum. I think so.
Pero yung pera nila, attorney, parang ano kunyari 50,000 ganyan, pero worth ano lang yun, siguro 100 pounds lang yun.
Iba yung pera.
Iba,
Sabi ko,
mura.
2,000.
Nasa 1,000 ang hawak mo, pero actually, kulang a few pounds lang, no? Which is, well, it's good na nag-enjoy ka ron, no? Maski paano, di ba? Pero ang lakas ng loob mo, attorney, bilib ako sa'yo. I've been there, I was with, may kasama ako, syempre. Tapos, you know, ang tibay mo rin. Alam mo, you're a brave woman, you're a strong woman, you're a very matibay ka, attorney. Saludo kami sa iyo, no? And dahil mo na-achieve.
Thank you.
Ako, hindi ko
It's
kaya.
doable to travel alone. It's doable to travel alone. Just don't do anything silly. Look after yourself.
Oo nga. Tama. Oo, tama yun. Okay. Teka na, tuloy lang natin pagbati, attorney. Sige. Ito, bago tayo pumunta sa topic natin na...
Si Rafa.
Okay. Oo.
Yes.
Oh, si Rafa, yes.
Good evening po, Kuya Sonny and Attorney Donna and to everyone. Ganda ng barong ni Rafa.
Oo, naku.
Very nice. Very dapper.
Uy, pakishare guys, pakishare natin yung show na ito. This is for everybody, no? Para sa ating lahat. Please, no? Ayan. Lizzie Hobbs, attorney.
Lizzie Hobbs, good evening and happy Tuesday, Lizzie. Lizzie Hobbs, hello. Thank you for Filipino ba si Lizzie or Filipino supporter?
Filipina yan. Filipina siguro, no? Married to a Hobbs, no? To Hobbs. Oo. Ito yata may picture yata na nasabi ko, yan ba mukhang Filipino yung husband niya pero Hobbs, no? Meron yata siyang photo yata, di ba, nakasandal yata either yung lalaki o siya, no? Yung husband niya. Licia, good evening. Thank you for watching, no? Uy, imported tayo, attorney. Meron from Washington State to. No, Washington
Oliver
State.
Fernandez. Good afternoon po, Attorney Donna Q and Kuya Sonny from the Pacific Northwest, Washington State. Present po.
Yes.
Checking of attendance tayo.
Tama, Pacific side yun, attorney, di ba? Pacific time, yung California was, di ba? Pacific time. Tapos yung nasa dulo naman.
Northwest, yeah.
Oo, Northwest naman siya dahil pagtaas mo ng konti, nasa Canada ka na, no?
Yes, that's right.
So California, Washington State, and then you go up, that's Vancouver side, no? Yung ano?
Vancouver, yeah.
Oh,
They have what
Vancouver.
they call, ano natin yung Pacific Crest Trail? Doon ba yun? Yung malaking from Mexico up north na parang hiking, a very, very long hiking trail. But yeah,
Hindi
that's
ko
6 months mong lalakarin. 6 months ata.
Really, wow. Pagka talaga mga lakaran, attorney, kabisado mo, alam mo kayo yung mga lakaran, di ba? Pero po, 6 months ka maglalakad, Diyos ko, haba naman nun, attorney. Sa bagay,
Reporting from the jungle.
Oo, kaya mo yun dahil you've done the 1 month, di ba? You've hurdled it. I'm sure yung mga ganyan, kaya mo talaga, no? So, mabuhay, Oliver and Mia Fernandez mula sa Northwest, no? Diyan, Pacific Northwest, sa Washington State. Mabuhay. Ang sikat diyan, 'di ba? Seattle, Washington. 'Yan ang capital.
Seattle, Washington, yes.
Oo, Seattle. So
Washington.
mabuhay kayo, mabuhay. Uy, teka muna, magbe-break na muna tayo at pagbalik ko natin. Attorney, ano i-discuss mo ngayon for tonight?
Na-discuss ko is how to respond to cyberbullying kasi medyo mainit na naman yung topic ng mga pambabash ngayon dahil I think medyo controversial yung mga comments dun sa Miss Universe, Mr.
Oy.
Laragan. So there are a few comments and mga comments
wow.
din ng sa online and mga bashing. So I think quite apt na
Sige, well, that
we'll
would be
touch
great.
upon this because we talked about it last year.
Yeah.
Tapos matagal na rin natin hindi
Yes.
napag-usapan. So we're just going to
Sige.
refresh the topic again.
Okay, we're gonna have a short break, guys. At pagbalik na natin i-discuss ulit, attorney, yung topic niya, no? Cyberbullying. Huwag ko kayo alis, saglit po lamang.
Mula noon hanggang ngayon, serbisyong mapagkakatiwalaan, serbisyong maaasahan pagdating sa inyong mga padalang balikbayan boxes. Dito ka na sa Forex Cargo. Sa presyong kayang-kaya ng bulsa, sigurado ka pa sa inyong padala. Forex Cargo. Dahil kailangan makarating. Call 0208-813-7064. O, ano pang inaantay niyo mga kabayan? Tayo na sa Forex Cargo.
%100% all natural, tasty, healthy, versatile, 4 unique flavors. Taste a real sauce. Galettos.
May problema ka ba sa landlord mo? Baka AV ka na ni Kuya. May problema sa mga kapitbahay, sa trabaho. O kaya naman kay Mister o kay Mrs. Away tungkol sa mana, mga may utang, mga aksidente, daing o laban sa ospital or sa NHS, harassment, o baka naman may stalker ka na gusto mong ireklamo. Punta na sa DV Solicitors para matulungan ka pagdating sa mga litigations at iba pang mga legal concerns. DV Solicitors at 2nd floor, Howard House, St. John Street, Bedford, MK42 0DJ. Tumawag sa 01234-350-244 or 01234-225-188 o kaya naman mag-email sa d.quinto@dvsolicitors.com. Visit our website at www.dvsolicitors.com.
During these trying times, we salute the frontliners who are tirelessly caring for all of us against the COVID-19. To all the courageous nurses, doctors, carers, and paramedics at the NHS, words are not enough to thank you. We at Highlight Express International are here to support you back with a full semester 10% discount when you send your balikbayan boxes to your family in the Philippines. Dahil ang Highlight Express International ay para sa pamilya.
Sa World Remit, naiintindihan namin ang iyong paglalakbay. Na minsan, kailangan lumayo upang makamit ang tagumpay. With ways to save more, when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there for them.
Okay, balik ho tayo sa ating palatuntunan, no, sa pagpapatuloy ng Legal Advice Corner, no. Ako po si Sonny Laragan, isa sa mga kasama ho rito. Pero syempre, ang pinaka-host o pinaka-star of the show ho natin, syempre walang iba kundi yung managing partner po ng DV Solicitors, si Attorney DANNA Quinto. Attorney, good evening once again, no? Ayan, text sandali, okay, nawala ka. Ayan, okay. Good evening once again.
Ayan. Good evening once again. Thank you. Good evening once again, Mr. Laragan, and to everyone watching. Welcome back to Legal Advice Corner. I did a quick search sa Google. I think it is called Bangkok Thai Restaurant sa Budapest.
Alright. Okay. Some part sa may Pest o sa may Buda side?
I think nasa...
Ano pangalan? Bangkok? Sige, mamaya hanapin ko. Ano pangalan niya, Attorney? Ano pangalan niya? Bangkok
Thai Restaurant. So,
Bangkok.
nandun siya sa...
Bangkok Thai Restaurant. Yun ang pangalan mismo, literally, ganyan?
Yeah po, sa Budapest. So, yes.
Restaurant Budapest. Okay. Alright. Oh, what?
I looked it up and...
Bangkok Thai Eterem ba? Yan ba yan?
Eterem, yeah, that's it. So,
Eterem.
kung bukas na po dyan, kung andun, sana andun pa rin po yung parang may note yung ambassador natin doon. It's very sweet. Very
Mati
nice.
Dahon. Oh, okay. It's okay. Tingnan ko lang, Attorney, ko ito yung itsura na sinasabi mo, no? Okay. Alright. Tinitingnan ko sa TripAdvisor. Hindi ko alam kung makakalap. Ito, Attorney. Ito ba yan?
Yeah,
Yan ba?
that's right.
Do you remember this interior?
Yan. So, nandun po yung lalaki. Parang one of those. Isa yon or isa dun sa mga mga nakalagay dyan sa gilid.
Yan ang mga pagkain nila. Wow.
Na note. I think isa dun sa mga naka-frame dyan was a
Dyan,
note from our Filipino ambassador. And it was a very old note, ha? Hindi naman but not new. So, kung may mga Filipino po na nasa Filipino TV Europe tayo, may Filipino na taga Budapest dyan, maybe, pwede pakicheck ko.
Oo nga, pakicheck nga.
Pakicheck ko ano pa yung note ng ambassador natin.
Ipapahanap natin sa wife ni ambassador kasi kaibigan natin yung wife niya, no? Oo. So, yeah, we'll have it.
And nakakatawa. I wanna go back. I really wanna go back. May unfinished business tayo dyan.
Yeah, ako rin. I enjoyed it,
That's good.
no?
That's good. So, yeah, talking about Philippines and mga Miss Universe. I don't know if nabalitaan mo yung mga controversial bashing mga comments about about Miss Universe.
Teka muna, Attorney. Bago natin tuloy lang. Basahin ko lang to kasi hindi lumabas. Sabi ni nawala na yung message niya. Natakpan na.
Sorry.
Si Jen Martini, something Si Jen, nako, nahulog na yung message niya na bumaba na.
Okay.
Oo, si she's from Belgium but she's watching from Spain. Jen Martini, something Tonic Martini. Mabuhay Jen thank you, no?
Jen.
Si Daisy Wrigley lang, ipapasok ko lang to si Daisy Wrigley, Attorney, para lang bago tayo tuloy natin yung sinasabi mo na okay. Ayan, Daisy Wrigley, good evening, Attorney DANNA and Kuya Sonny, watching from Derbyshire. Okay, thank you.
Derbyshire, yes. Hi, Daisy.
Ito, si Josh Baran, Attorney, parang sa Norway, Si Josh, parang, I remember, nakita kami yata ni Josh a long time ago, no? Josh, mabuhay. Thank you for watching, Paki-share na lang yung ating program. Mabuhay ka. Mabuhay. Okay, Attorney, ano yung sinasabi mo, yung parang maintriga ngayon na nagkakaroon ng bashing ba? Ano yung sinasabi mo?
Kasi may isang parang si John Magno ba yun, ITV personality, may comment siya kay Miss Rabia, Miss Philippines, Miss Universe Philippines.
Okay. Yes. Nanalo yata Miss Mexico ba? Tama ba? Miss Mexico?
Miss Mexico yung nanalo, but yung...
May comment siya kayo doon sa Miss Suribaya ba?
Miss Rabia, yung sa atin,
Oo.
yung Miss Philippines po natin, yung representative sa Miss Universe. So, I think she made a comment ko na parang retokado or something. Nabash
si Suri, yung ating Miss Oh, yung ating
Oo.
contestant. Oh, wow.
And yan, nabash niya. And then, kumbaga may comment siya, binash siya, and
Binasya. Dahil sa comment niya na
binash siya
yun.
kasi
Oo.
parang, bakit mo
Bakit mo?
ginaganon?
Oo nga, oo nga. Oo.
Tapos, meron namang si Miss Canada dahil iba ang kulay ni Miss Canada. I think
Hmm.
may mga kababayan tayo na who made comments about it, and Miss Canada
Hmm.
had to make a statement na,
Hmm.
we'll have to end on we'll have to talk positively about the issues. Wala namang racist, ganon. So,
Hmm.
it's all, pag may mga ganito, it's not, hindi naman another day in the internet, kumbaga Mr. Laragan din.
Yeah.
As
Hmm.
usual, may mga bashing. But the normal question is, where is the line? Kailan nako-cross yung line na nagiging bullying na siya, nagiging harassing, nagiging grossly offensive, and what can you do about it? Because may differentiation na, okay, we have free speech, you're a broadcaster, Mr. Ragan, you're a journalist. So you yourself know the importance of people being able to give free opinion about what they think about matter, whether or not popular ba yung opinion o hindi. It's very important to move our society. It's very important for voices to be heard, for thoughts and feedback to be freely ventilated. Kasi as we all know, once hindi mo pinayagan yan, meron din namang mga uh, negatibo na may collateral damage in terms of our ability to be able to have a full perspective ng lahat ng mga bagay. However, with what we're having now, social media, Twitter, we have Facebook, we have YouTube. Everyone's free to comment everywhere at the moment. When does a controversial comment becomes an unlawful comment, a grossly offensive comment? When does it become cyberbullying? And as I've said, ano ba yung pwede mong magawa doon? So sometimes we would get hurt about comments. Hindi lang cyber media, hindi lang naman sa online. Minsan may mga comment yung mga kaibigan natin, kapamilya, katrabaho na ay medyo masakit yun ah. But that's not necessarily criminal, di ba? So minsan it's also said in a public setting, discourse kumbaga. So hindi to bago. The fact is cyberbullying is just also new form, may bagong venue, and some would argue na dahil the way internet, it's quite easy to be viral these days. Mas potent daw siya, kaya mas kailangan na mas that we safeguard ourselves sa mga pitfalls kumbaga ng abuse ng right to free speech. So hurtful comments are not necessarily does not necessarily mean it's criminal. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a harassment. It doesn't necessarily mean it is it is grossly offensive. However, sometimes and there is no formula out there. The reality is there is no formula na itong word ang ginamit mo grossly offensive na. It's always a case-to-case basis. Minsan, where you draw the line is pagpaulit-ulit. So, harassment by in itself is a course of conduct. So, sinabi ng isa, and then inulit-ulit, ang daming comments. One of the cases is that lahat ng post mo, nilagyan ng very malicious comment, grossly offensive comment, hindi totoo, false comment, false opinion about you, malicious, something sinister, may mga, kumbaga, may malisya na dating, may masamang intensyon. So that's where you draw the line na, yung isa talagang, trying to be controversial to trying to be, there's an intention to create, to injure the feelings, to injure the reputation. Also, if vulnerable, yung isang tao. So this is mostly applicable sa mga kabataan ngayon. You hear a lot of stories, quite sad stories, na yung mga bata, it's a source of depression kasi as we all know, adolescence is quite hard in itself. Madami tayong nababalitaan ng mga bullying sa school, and then it transforms into a wider setting, such as internet. As I've said, mas madaling mag-viral, mas marami nakakakita, mas malaki yung exposure, more likely mas malaki yung impact sa bata, and more likely with someone who's quite vulnerable, quite impressionable, mas iba yung impact. So tinitake yan. So that's one of the consideration na sinabi ko, case-to-case basis. If it's a vulnerable young person, the authorities are likely to act on it. The authorities are likely to say, well, binubuli talaga to. This is not a sophisticated, tough person na kayang kalyado na sa buhay. This is a young person na binubuli ng someone else. Also, pag grossly offensive, and sometimes a breach of a court order, breach of law na nilagay yung mga confidential information online. We've had cases like that na pinost kung ano yung divorce settlement or divorce proceedings. Not particular my case, but I've heard that there are instances, something like that, things that should not be shared are being shared online. So yes, that could potentially be a criminal or breach of confidential information. Now, what can you do about it? Well, pag ikaw ang naging o kapamilya mo, katrabaho ang naging biktima ng ganitong sitwasyon. One of the things, and we talked about this last year, is galing din to sa guidance na binigay ng one organization, an anti-bullying organization, is sometimes the best thing to do is wag mag-respond. Kasi pag nag-respond ka, lalagyan lang ng yun ang gusto nila mangyari, yun ang gusto nila na mag-retaliate ka, because that's the response that they want from you. They want to get a rise out of you, kumbaga sa kasabihan natin dito sa UK, they want to be able to get a reaction from you. So if you don't give that to them, you don't give them any power. And tapos ang diskusyon. Wala na, hindi na nabigyan ng validation yung sinabi nila. So that's one thing in terms of practical basis. And obviously, you report to the social media. May mga community standards. Facebook has community standards. The same as Twitter, YouTube, may mga policy, anti-bullying policy sila. They would have a procedure kung paano i-report ang isang tao na offensive, harassing, someone who's breach of confidentiality, who's being naughty. It's very, very important na we opt to do that as well. Para may paper trail na sinabi mo sa Facebook, look, this person is harassing. Before you do that, obviously, as we all say every time we have a session like this, record everything. Take screenshots bago nyo i-block, bago nyo hindi na makita yung tao, bago nyo i-report sa Facebook. Just before that, preserve your evidence. Ano ba yung sinabi? Para sinabi, so makikita yung timestamp, quite important as well. Take a screenshot of the profile as well, so you have some information. You can give that information later on to the police, so they are able to have everything that they can to track that person, should they need to. So have a look at that. Take a look at that. Take all the evidence that you need. So that's in terms of practical things. Also, seek help. Madaming mga guidance and organizations there. If it's a young person who's being bullied, who may need extra help in terms of getting through it, it's also very important. It may be very important for them to talk to someone, maybe at school, kung meron silang organization that deals with that, or even outside of school, because it's quite important. Sabi nga natin, we talked about it as a mental health. It's quite important uh, for a venue na mapag-usapan ng maayos, na magkaroon ng help, to have an assistance. Kasi kung yung main issue is to stop that bullying, then you have to deal with yung epekto, kung ano naging epekto nun. Kung once lang, kung matagal na, and it's creating a lasting effect on the mental health. So that's also something that we need to think about. In very, very serious circumstances, you may wish to contact the police, especially kung may threat sa buhay. And there are instances like that na may mga nagbabanta na I'll see you outside and all of that. So matapos mo kunin yung ebidensya, matapos mo kunin as much as you can, most importantly, call the police. As I've explained, hindi lahat ng hurtful comments are criminal. The CPS, Crime Prosecution Service, or the police, with the aid of the police in their investigation, will take a look if they are willing to prosecute. They can, yes, they can. A lot of clients ask me, pwede ba yung habulin? Pwede ba yung maging criminal? Yes, it can possibly be a criminal prosecution. It's up to the CPS to make that decision whether they will charge, depending on public interest, depending, as I've said earlier, how vulnerable the victim. Kung tina-target yung mga young people at the moment, walang masyadong vulnerable young people, they will take that into account. They'll take into account resources if they can track those. It is possible to track mga trolls, bashers. They have this identifying mark code, IP address. So pwedeng mahanap, and depende sa resources that the police have, that the police can allocate to that. Kung nasa abroad, maybe hindi na nila mahanap yung mga tao na yun. Then they might charge, depende kung regular din yung offense, na a few hundreds comments, very bashful, very grossly offensive comments. So that's yun yung consideration ng police. Sometimes they might just call the person up, knock on their door, and say stop harassing that person, otherwise we'll charge you. So sometimes that would do the trick. Sometimes it doesn't, so they would have to make a decision whether it crossed the threshold of being a criminal offense. So to recap, kung credible, make threat, and credible yung threat, talagang may threat to life and property. If the communication is really targeting a specific person, a vulnerable person. If there's a breach of a court order, they get very, that is very delicate, that's very sensitive, na in order to create a distress, nilagay yung isang confidential document online. And also if it's grossly offensive. So those are the situations na the police may intervene. So not all the time, dahil minsan nagkainisan online, or nagkasakitan ng loob, or people being crossing the line, and sometimes the practical way to do it is just block, report, or change your profile, change your contact details, and insist that Facebook lives up to their community standards, that they protect the environment from being abused by these trolls and bashers. They might do something, they might not all the time. It depends as well on a case-to-case basis. But at all times, ito yung sinasabi namin sa kliyente namin, keep safe, keep your family safe. Safety is paramount at all locations. if you feel there is a credible threat, call the police straight away. Block and all this are the first thing, but call the police straight away. In any event, kung kaya pang mapag-usapan o kaya naman to walk away from a certain diskusyon o pagkakainisan na hindi naman ikakaad sa buhay nating buhay nyo or buhay ng ikakaad ng value. I think sometimes it's better to just also walk away and just block that person. So yun yung mga practical advice. There is a bullying.co.uk. There is a national bullying organization which is helpful advice online. There are a lot of charities, non-government units, non-profit organizations who are actually giving support. This is becoming at the forefront of issues these days. As I've said, it seems like andito tayo sa bagong landscape na dati, when you talk about bullying, physical sa school, physical sa playground, or amongst friends. But the fact now we have this very powerful, potent accelerator ng news, accelerator exponentially sometimes would relay information, bad, good, true, false. We're finding ourselves in also a very, very different landscape na sometimes yung masakit, mas nagiging masakit kasi mas malakas yung power ng internet ngayon, mas malakas yung yung power ng medium na to. So in the same way, we must be vigilant. We must also guard ourselves. So privacy settings, sabi din nila, sabi ng mga guidelines na yun, it's worth just keeping an eye on your privacy settings na yung pwedeng mag-comment, yung pwedeng mag-ano is kaibigan nyo lang. So lots of practical settings, lots of also there are legal route. On the civil side, you can always do cease and desist letters. Lawyer like me can send a letter to someone. That's on the basis na kilala niyo siya, kung hindi niyo siya kilala, kung naka-anonymous yung pangalan niya, and it's a fake account. Normally, hindi sila nadadala sa ganon. In reality, nadadala sila pag kumatok na yung police sa door nila. So, that's a practical feedback kung ano talaga yung nangyayari. But at the end of the day, protect yourself, protect your family, protect your loved ones. Being on the guard is always better than curing a problem. So just be vigilant of your cyberspace. Kung sino yung nakapaligid sa inyo sa cyberspace, that's probably the first step, first and foremost. And as I've said, I hope yung practical advice natin ngayong gabi would assist. And at the end of the day, life is short. We only have moments here, and para sa akin is probably be better if we spend those moments na in ways. We always say, Mr. Laragan, na we pick the moments that we want to focus our energy on, really, at the end of the day. So it's always about that. So kung makiki-argue, kung ganun ang ikakasaya natin at talagang may pinaglalaban tayo, why not, di ba? Why not? But kung hindi naman talaga, perhaps we can have a better use of our energy.
Okay, ayan. Ayan. Ayan, at least, no? If you can probably also walk away, that would be fine, no? Basta, unless talagang, threatened ka, and then you need a policeman talaga because at the end of the day, it's your safety, di ba? Ang pinaka-importante. Mag-break lang muna tayo, attorney, and then when we come back, tuloy lang natin yung, mas siguro, a little, pag-usapan natin itong diniscuss mo. Saglit po lamang, huwag ko kayong alis, ha?
Sa World Remit, naiintindihan namin ang iyong paglalakbay. Na minsan, kailangan lumayo upang makamit ang tagumpay. With ways to save more, when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there for them.
Okay, tuloy-tuloy tayo sa ating programang Legal Advice Corner with yours truly, Sonny Laragan, and of course, si Attorney Danna Quinto. Ayan. So, good evening once again, no? Okay, Attorney, CPS lang, no? Ano yan? Crown Prosecution Service yata. Nabanggit mo kanina yung CPS, di ba?
That's right.
Ayun, no? Ano ba yung CPS na yan? How would you explain it to our kababayans?
They make the decision. Sila yung sa America, prosecutor. Sila yung mga...
Ano yan? Parang mga fiscal ba sa Pilipinas yan? O hindi naman?
Parang gano'n. Sila yung they'll make the decision whether or not to charge someone. So obviously they'll gather the evidence. They'll get the report. The police would forward it to them so that they can make a charging decision kung gusto ba nilang i-pursue yung case. And as I've said earlier, maraming considerations sila. One of public interest. If it's against a vulnerable victim, mas culpable yung tao, yung perpetrator na yon, kung mas lalo niyang binubuli yung someone vulnerable, or against the child, for example, an elderly person, and also resources. The reality is we only have finite resources as a nation, as an organization. The same applies to them. So they have to make that balancing decision of how much resources are they going to spend on the case, and whether they can prove it. They can prove beyond reasonable doubt na guilty yung perpetrator, and it will achieve that legitimate objective. Na hindi na it becomes a deterrent. Yun mostly ang inaano nila na maging example yan. Na wag nang gawin. Wag niyo tong gawin sa mga marami tayong there's lots of very may nabasa ako, may influencer may mga influencer na nababash, and then may mga bata na nabash sa online, and then they commit suicide or they fall into depression. So hindi to biro na situation. Just like hindi biro din yung bullying, just normal bullying. Mas minsan nagiging potent kasi madaling mag-viral and permanent. Kung video man yun or whatever, sometimes may perception of permanency na andun yun. It's really the talk of the town, the talk of the internet for a while, and it creates an impact na iba kumpara dun sa mga when we were growing up, when I was growing up, walang Facebook, walang Twitter, so it's slightly different landscape. And that's the reason why itong mga laws na to, wala naman to noon eh. Hindi naman to, wala namang cyberbullying na word, 30 years ago or 25 years ago. They don't have this standards, grossly, what is it out there, what is an acceptable behavior online, community standards sa Facebook. That only happened because maraming tao ang nagsabi na you have to police as a community. So when Facebook started, walang ganyan. Wala na. I think so. When back in 2007 or before that, yung Friendster, marami pang something similar like that. It wasn't quite a very focal issue in terms of free speech, because everyone just would say something. But because of how widely used these platforms are and how powerful they became, madaming mga kumbaga acceptable conduct, and the same way mga standards that arose because of that. And we have to call them out. That's the way for us to help uplift yung standards ng behavior din ng tao in the cybersphere. So do tell, mag-report tayo, hindi na sige hanapin din. Okay, wag mag-retaliate, i-block, but report so they have the statistics, report so they know how people are conducting themselves, so these people can also build policies around it, create policies around it. So that's what I can say as well in terms of kung kayo man ay naging biktima, do speak up and do report it.
Okay. Attorney, ito yung ano, no? Ito yung sinasabi mong ano, yung sinasabi mong bullying, ano pangalan to? Bullying dot code
Well,
bullying.
organization Bullying UK, yeah.
Oo. Ano yan?
What's
Dot code
that?
UK, ano? Bullying UK. Ito.
Yep.
Ayan. Ito ang
And
bullying
lots for
UK.
children, bullying at school, advice for young people, cyberbullying.
Mhm.
So yeah, loads of literature online. At ang karamihan na talaga nagiging malaki yung impact sa mga bata, sa mga young people at the moment.
Okay. Attorney, meron tayong ano, question dito, no? May tanong tayo, attorney, dito. Ito.
Go for
Mababasa
it.
mo ba? Yeah, okay. Mababasa mo ba yan, attorney? Simple yata ano, yeah.
So, Melody, hello Attorney Dana, meron po akong maliit na business at may utang po ako. 1,800 po ang utang ko sa isang kumpanya. Makukulong po ba ako kung hindi ko mababayaran? May sulat po ang solicitor nila sa akin at binigyan po ako ng 2 weeks para magbayad. Kung hindi ko po mabayaran, ano pong mangyayari? Kinakabahan po ako. Melody, first of all, hindi ka makukulong. It's not a criminal offense. That is a civil matter. Now, the first question is, yung kumpanya, yung business mo ba, are you a sole trader or are you a limited company? That would make a distinction in terms of kung ano, depende sa kung anong gagawin nila. So they can either sue you, or kung ano man yung, kung limited company man yan, they can either sue yung kumpanya mo. Best thing to do is look at the contract, kung who entered the contract. So is it you as a person or is it the company? If hindi mo mabayaran, what I would suggest practically is to talk to them. Bakit hindi mo mabayaran? You know, what's the issue? Is it COVID? Kasi kung COVID yan, you can say this is a temporary cash flow issue and hopefully you're hoping to recover, and that you can present them a proposal, a counter proposal ka. You want an installment or you can make a payment by this date. If there are issues, so first question is, are you accepting pala na due yung 1,800? O may challenge ka, sabihin mo, hindi ko naman natanggap yung tamang serbisyo o hindi ko natanggap yung tamang produkto. Kung natanggap mo yung serbisyo at tamang produkto, the best thing to do, as I've said, is make a proposal. Now, kung wala talaga, kung insolve, the worst that they can do, obviously, is to start court proceedings. But it is civil, hindi criminal. Kung wala kang challenge sa kanilang claim sa'yo, if you accept na due talaga yung 1,800, they're likely to be able to get a judgment against you or your company. If it's against you at hindi mo nabayaran, it may have an effect on your credit rating. So they call it a county court judgment. It may have an effect on your credit rating. If it's against the company, it may have an effect on the company's credit rating. But as I've said, ang pinakamaayos is makipag-usap ka. So have a chat with them. What's happening? Ano nangyayari? If you are to and if you can get into an installment payment with them, kung ano yung kaya mo, hindi ka i-force ng korte. Even if you get a judgment, the court will say, well, how much can you pay? So the court will still ask the same thing. How much can you pay? So there is a means test to that. So they know that. So just remind them of that. Even the court would say, how much can you pay? So you better start that negotiations with them. So don't ignore, discuss, have a dialogue with them. But hindi po siya criminal. Hindi ka po makukulong.
Ayan. Okay. So depende pala kung sole trader or limited company. Ganun pala yan. Oh, okay. May challenging pala yan. So parang i-challenge muna. Parang attorney, kailangan, pag hindi challenge, you mentioned the word, is it a technical term? To challenge, ganun? Let's say they're claiming something, may utang na 1,800.
Defense is a technical. It's the first question. I mean, tatanong ko sa kliyente, Ano masasabi mo sa 1,800 na it's the first question. Do you accept? Do you agree na this is due? Baka naman kasi may reklamo, may counterclaim yung kliyente mo. So, you can't miss that. Baka sabihin,
Kung challenge, ano mangyayari, attorney? Kung challenge, ano mangyayari? Kunyari, si Melody may utang na para siguro service or anything yata siguro. Or product na tinanggap niya or service na ginawa ni render sa kanya, may utang siya 1,800 supposedly. Pag challenge niya, ano gagawin ng kabila?
You have to, hindi mo lang sasabihin na I don't agree. You have to give a reason why you don't agree. So one of the reasons normally is, sabi mo, you'll provide this service, but ang nakuha kong service 75% lang. You didn't finish the service. So I had to get someone else to finish that service, and I incurred a loss of this. So in my position, hindi due ang 1,800, but a certain deduction must be applied to reflect yung hindi mo pinunong serbisyo. So that's how you word it out. So you present that to the other side in that manner, and the other side can then accept that, renegotiate, or they can completely say, no, we don't accept your evidence. And then kung hindi talaga, you go to court, and both of you will present your position. So their position is that ginawa nila ng tama yung serbisyo, they provide everything under the contract. Your Melody's position would be, hypothetical position is that no, they didn't. They said they will, but they only provided 75% according to my evidence. Hindi naman tinapos. Kumbaga, sabi ko, pintahan yung buong wall. Di naman pinintahan yung buong wall. Kita mo sa picture, 75% lang yung pinintahan. So I have to get another painter to paint the 25%. So 25% ng 1,800 is 450 pounds. So I incurred 450 pounds by another painter to finish the 25% of the wall. Nakita nyo naman sa resibo, Your Honor. And they did the whole thing. They only 450. They only sum due is or 400, tama ba? 900 plus 1,350 lang ang due. So that's how it is in technical terms. So you present the contract. The contract is to paint the whole wall. The other side said, yep, for 1,800, but we painted the whole wall. And Melodies would say, no, you didn't. You didn't paint the whole wall because this is my evidence. And I had to get it somewhere else, and I have a counterclaim. So that's the reason why nagtatanong kami. Kasi minsan, baka nakalimutan ng kliyente na, or meron pang ibang flesh yung kwento. Na, kaya pala ayaw bayaran ng kliyente. However, kung ayaw mo lang bayaran dahil ayaw mong bayaran, or ayaw mong bayaran dahil hindi ka makabayad, unfortunately, that's not a defense. Hindi defense na hindi ka makabayad. That is, you can argue that as sort of mitigation na para magbigay ng proposal to persuade them na ito lang talaga yung kaya mo, but that is not a defense, unfortunately.
Okay, all right. Okay, yes. Meron kasi ng may problema tayong kababayan, mga nagme-message sa atin, no. Okay, attorney, ito may mga pagbati lang. So ituloy lang natin yung mga pagbati, no. So ito si Emmeline Rafael. So Melody, napakinggan mo, baka if you can kausapin mo lang, no, di ba, more or less, di ba, you can have to kausapin mo.
Check mo yung contract, Melody.
Contract,
do you accept check mo muna yung contract. Do you accept na natanggap mo ba lahat ng pinagkasunduan nyo for that 1,800? Kung hindi, sabihin mo din. Sabi mo, kailangan ko ng discount kasi hindi ko naman natanggap to lahat eh. If natanggap mo lahat at hindi kaya magbayad dahil mahirap ang negosyo ngayon, I think best to have a dialogue with them. Try to negotiate an installment payment, try to negotiate a payment proposal.
Oo. Yung sinasabi mo kanina, para example mo, like for example, part of the job na yung kinontract nyo o pinag-usapan nyo, hindi nagawa, yun nga, kamukha ng painting, sabi, 25% you painted, pinapaint mo sa iba, then yun, di ba? You don't have to pay the complete
Correct.
price because, ganun. Okay, sige. At least, okay ka, maski paano na nasagot siguro ni attorney yung tanong mo, ano, ha, Melody, ha? Okay, si Emeline Rafael, talagang naka all caps pa rin, no? Attorney. Ayan, no?
Okay,
Ayan. Pakibasa, attorney.
Good
Pakibasa na.
evening, Sonny and Attorney Donna. Happy Tuesday to you both and everyone. Evelyn Rafa, ganda ng picture.
Oo.
Naka-black and white. Watching
Ayan.
from High Barnet.
Ano kaya ginagawa niya sa High Barnet? Taga Wimbledon yan eh. Attorney, taga
Oo,
Wimbledon
ano?
yan eh. Ano kaya ang ano? Dahil pwede na mag-hug siguro. Pwede na di ba? Starting
kaya.
Monday. Baka lang. Hindi natin alam kung anong ginagawa niya, no? Bakit siya nandoon? Wimbledon yan, no? Wimbledon yan. Oo,
Bakit ibang
Wimbledon yan.
check-in?
Bakit nga, Emily, no?
Bakit
Anong
nga ba?
dahilan? Ayan. Uy, si Catherine Yap, may tanong.
Catherine,
Message.
yung
So,
mga
parang ano,
nagbo-blind item, how did they get away with it? I believe they try to draw to toe the fine line of yung sinasabi identifiability. Kasi pwede nilang sabihin na hindi naman ganun ka-identifiable. Bakit ka nagagalit? Tinamaan ka ba? Di kung tinamaan ka, totoo. So that is normal argument with that. So and the way yung mga blind items, they're very very cleverly reported, na it's more saying na sinabi lang ng isang ganito. They have a source na they're only reporting that a source says this, and there are issues, there are evidence na ganito yung ginagawa ng isang kumbaga celebrity A or celebrity B. But half the time, talagang meron silang wiggle room to say, hindi naman ganun ka-identifiable, hindi mo talaga for sure masasabi na ito si celebrity A is this actual person. So that's how they're quite clever about it. That identifiability depends, and then the fact that, look, is it true or is it not? Is it not true? Because if you're upset about it, why are you upset about it? Natamaan ka ba? Kung hindi totoo.
Attorney si Ricky dito, sabi gano'n, ito bang bashing sa internet, hindi ho ba yan parang libel? Ano difference ng libel, attorney, at saka yung ano? Ano ba pwedeng kaso niya?
That's defamation. I mean, the terms are may mga slight difference in terms of jurisdiction, but the bashing on the internet is straightforward. Could be defamation kasi published siya, so that's publication. And the fact that you put a comment up for public view, and if it's untrue and walang proper defense yung kabila and naapektuhan ng reputasyon mo, it is defamation. So if a third party publishes an untrue statement with a view of creating reputational damage, so yes, slander and libel, once oral na pag orally derogatory remarks, but bashing is a bit more straightforward because you have the evidence there online, you have that publication. So in terms of proving that na-publish on, it's very easy. Take a screenshot, it's very clearly posted online.
May parang message sa akin, private message, sabi gano'n, pakisabi po kay attorney, dahil meron po yatang 5% incentive sa pagbili ng bahay, baka pwede pong i-discuss niya ang buying a property, parang help to buy, gano'n.
The help to buy scheme.
Scheme. Ano yan? 5% may ganun yata. Baka, can you discuss that, attorney? Parang to enlighten our kababayan siguro din.
What I would do is I would bring someone from conveyancing department. So I'm a litigation lawyer. I little bit about conveyancing. That's called conveyancing, the process of conveyancing. I would get an expert in terms of conveyancing, in terms of Help to Buy, kasi that's also
parang
a
guiding
sub
lang yan siguro,
a
attorney.
subset
Parang guiding lang yata
of
to.
Help to Buy
Oo.
scheme. Ang pagkakaalam ko, certain Help to Buy scheme are coming up to an end, I think.
Ayun, baka nagmamadali sila.
Yes, what's happening? Madami nagmamadali ngayon sa property.
Siguro ito,
tayo.
nabasa na para mga
And-
first-time buyers to, di ba? May benefits ng
and
first-time
stamp-
buyers. Ayan,
SDLT, stamp duty, land tax, holiday. Kaya maraming nagmamadaling bumili ngayon. And may staggered deadline yan. I think one is June and one is October. And the other one is Help to Buy. I know for a fact may mag-e-end ang Help to Buy, I think end of May. This not all. Some of it are able to apply again. May mga ibang tao na hindi makaka-apply. So what I will do, as I've said, I know.
Oo, para matulungan natin itong mga kababayan natin, attorney, no?
I
Baka
will
yata
get someone from property department to talk about it. And kailangan nyo ng conveyancing solicitor, a specialist in land transaction to help you through the case. Also, it's always good to talk to a broker or a mortgage broker, a financial advisor. So, yung makakapagbigay sa'yo ng additional information in terms of the actual Help to Buy scheme. It's also good to talk to a financial advisor or mortgage broker, in addition to a solicitor. So, solicitor can talk you through the process, but in terms of the financial part, you need to talk to a financial advisor, independent financial advisor.
So yun ang mga different components, yung parang sa money part, financial advisor, tapos solicitor. Ito nga, parang just to guide them, para maraming mga components yan. Parang kasi naghahabol yata sila parang bumili siguro na dahil yun yata ngayon ang pinag-uusapan ngayon, di ba?
May pa-deadline. I think alam ko may deadline na darating.
Deadline, mukha yata
Deadline na
nito.
darating. I think it's
Okay.
May. I think it's May. Ang pagkakaalam ko, it's May.
Ayun.
But may deadline. Madaming deadline the next few months with the conveyancing process.
Okay. Si Emmeline Rafael nag-message lang siya na meron yata namatay yata yung friend. Namatay, andito ako sa kaibigan ko kasi namatay yung husband niya. At sinamahan ko muna si Rosie. Pinigay pa yung pangalan, no? Baka hindi kaya masabihin, no? Bakit nandyan ako? Mababash ako ngayon. Hindi naman. Kaya dito muna ako kasi kailangan niya nakasama.
Nakikiramay po kami.
Nakikiramay tayo.
Very commendable.
Oo, magaling. Mahusay siya, no?
And thank you, kahit
Emily
wala siya sa kanila, nanood pa rin sa atin.
Oh yes, pati si Rosie na nagdadalamhati, napanood din siguro ngayon, maski paano, no? Rosie, we sympathize with you, no? Condolence, Rosie, no? At mapalad ka, may kaibigan katulad ni Emily na taga Wimbledon, pumunta pa ng High Barnet para lang samahan ka, no? Which is good. Kaya, a friend in need is a friend indeed. Yung times na medyo down ka, andun yung kaibigan mo, no? Well, that's good. Well, okay. Well, attorney, magpaalam siguro na tayo, attorney. At we were so happy na nandiyan ka. Nakabalik ka ng mas maaga-agang program natin. And it was, baka may mga pagbati. You can let them know where to contact you in case may mga questions sila, no, attorney? O may mga gusto ka pang banggitin, go ahead, please.
Exactly. So we'll try to get more information for you from the conveyancing team. So susunod po, I might bring someone from conveyancing to give a bit of a guideline or a general overview kung ano yung mga ma-expect natin this year sa mga deadline in terms of buying or selling a home. But in the meantime, do email me at d.quinto@dvsolicitors.com or phone me at 01234225188 if you have any further questions or any further case. Your friend, Mr. LARAGAN, email mo lang yung case summary niya so I can have a look at it.
So this person rang me up this morning yata, and I just forwarded I emailed it to you during the show yata. Pinorward ko sa'yo. Have a look lang kasi between you and me, mas, I really have no idea. Kawawa naman kasi itong ating kababayan, parang napag-suspect yan Diyan sa email na papadala ko sa'yo. But have a look at it and say, baka may masabi ka. You can point him or her in the right direction, no? Okay. Okay. Nagpapasalamat sa atin si Rosie, no? Rosie, mabuhay ka, ha? Condolence, ha? Mula rito sa amin sa Filipino TV Europe, no? No, mga condolence, oo, at siyempre, pagka yung hobby mo nawala, or wife or whoever, di ba? Malungkot din yan, no? So, who
God
would
bless
want
Rosie.
that? Oh, God bless Rosie. Oh, God bless then. Okay, well, I guess it's time for us to say goodbye. Maraming salamat sa inyong lahat na sumubaybay dito sa ating Happy Tuesday program. Yung ating mga ka-social virtual bubble. Maraming salamat. And thank you very much. And please keep on sharing this program. At maski saan niya pag-usapan to, okay lang kung sa simbahan, wala naman tayong mga barangay dito, pero kung saan kayo magkita, kung magsama-sama na rin kayo sa mga restaurant, nagkita-kita kayo sa mga hangouts, sa mga Pinoy, tell your friends about this program. Ganun nakakalat kasi word of mouth at saka nakakapanood sa atin. Yung mga viewers natin, nanonood sa atin. Thank you very much, no? And we really appreciate you guys being with us, welcoming us in your homes, maski saan kayo. At worldwide tayo, attorney, pati nasa Washington State, nanonood sa atin, di ba? Imagine mo yon. So, mabuhay. So, sa ngalan ni Attorney Dana Quinto, at sa programang Legal Advice Corner, ito po si Sonny Laragan nagsasabing thank you ho sa inyong walang asawang pagsubaybay. No? Let's do it again next Tuesday for another edition of Legal Advice Corner. Take care, good night, and sleep tight. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Sa World Remit, naiintindihan namin ang iyong paglalakbay. Na minsan, kailangan lumayo upang makamit ang tagumpay. With ways to save more, when you send more, World Remit is here for you. So you can be there for them.